Welcome to Tampa Home Talk with your host, native Tampa real estate girl, Katrina Madewell, a full-time, passionate, out-of-the-box thinker, love for home ownership kind of realtor with over 21 years of combined mortgage and real estate experience. Tune in every week at this time for expert advice on everything you need to know about home ownership, finance, maintaining great credit, building wealth, and making your everyday life better, and how you can be financially successful today and tomorrow. Remember, love where you live or let Katrina fix it. Now, here's your host of Tampa Home Talk, Katrina Madewell.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for chiming back in with us this afternoon on Tampa Home Talk. You can catch us here every week, same time, same place. And the mission of our show here for Tampa Home Talk is to help you keep and maintain great credit, live within your means, and build wealth. And my team and I are passionate about it. We also have other people in and around the real estate space and general things to make your everyday life better. So today's show, we're going to kind of kick off and continue with that New Year's resolution theme and have some amazing guests in studio today. I can't wait to get to know them even more than I did even before the show. So we have JT Tapias with Fit Method 413. He is got an amazing bio. I was looking at his bio. He has a BS in psychology. Yes. Which is so funny you say BS. I probably should have said Bachelor of Science, right? And then also Master's in Neuro-Linguistics Programming, which is NLP. Not a lot of people are familiar with that, but I am. It's very interesting. And then you hold multiple certifications in and around fitness, personal training, nutrition, and life coaching. And we had a chance to talk quite a bit before the show, just kind of who you are as a company, where you come from, where you start, what makes you different than the traditional personal trainers and such. Your background, you come from were you born somewhere else besides here? Because I know you have a soccer background. You played all over Europe.
I was born in Medellin, Colombia.
Okay. That's right. You told me that. I remember that. Yeah. So, and we were saying, football, soccer, depending on where you're from. Mm-hmm. And you've been featured in other magazines such as GQ, Men's Fitness, the go-to guy for Fit TV channel. And it's one of your quotes was, "There's not a body without a mind or a mind without a body. They both work together in direct correlation and harmony." And you believe that it's the missing link to fitness, which is, I can't wait to talk about that on the show. And then I noticed that you have all these different credentials, and we're going to talk about what those letter abbreviations mean and dive into those a little bit. Our second guest that we'll have more towards the latter part of the show is going to be Glory Med Clinic. So Tina Scottland.
Hello.
Tina, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
And then also Dr. David, and your last name is Ikudayisi?
Yes.
Am I close?
Ikudayisi.
I'm so close.
That's right.
Dr. David, we're going to call him for the show just to keep things simple. And so you guys are going to give little bit of the conversation regarding fitness and weight loss and that type of stuff on a different level than what JT is going to talk about. And you're going to approach it more of like the Medi weight loss and that type of stuff. And we're going to talk about eating habits and, all that fun stuff that nobody wants to talk about that goes hand in hand with the weight loss. So JT, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Katrina.
I feel honored to have the chance to meet you with, another client of ours. We connected really well, connected awesome with you and your wife, and always love to hear what other people do. And your Fit Method 413 in South Tampa is a little bit different than most. And your accreditations, like there's ACE, or do they say it ACE?
ACE.
Okay. And then IFPA, thank you. And then NASM?
Yeah, NASM.
And then IPEC. So what does all that mean?
So the first three are personal training certifications. The last is IPEC, which is a life coaching school. They're based out of New Jersey. And so early in my career, I realized that a lot of people were coming to us, and in the personal training space, you get the opportunity to get close up to people. People get very comfortable with you, and they start talking about more personal stuff. I realized that many people were coming in, and in the beginning they were excited. They jump on the program. They would start making some progress, and shortly after, people would fall off. And we knew the program was solid. We knew that our trainers were extremely knowledgeable.
So back up for just a minute. Like, where did you come from? Like, what made you want to start Fit Method 413, being that you've got this Bachelor of Science in psychology and in neuro-linguistics programming? Because those are pretty different.
Sure. So I remember being in school, in college, and my psychology professor said that it would take anywhere from 3 to 5 years to cure a trauma, to get someone through a difficult situation, and that was if the person was consistent with therapy or counseling, and I thought that was just too long. I said that's too long. I mean, I know that most people have a challenge staying committed to anything. Yeah, to go to counseling for 3 years. I mean, I said, well, what's your success rate? And he said it's under 3%. And that was disappointing to me. And I just didn't want to sit across another, a couch across from another person, and I thought that
and have a 3% success rate.
Yeah, and have that 3% success rate. Well, some of the things that I've always been into fitness, played professional soccer, went to Spain at the age of 17. And I saw what my changing my physiology did for me mentally and so many different aspects. And so I always had this interest in fitness, and I knew that there was something that I could do where I could correlate psychology and I could correlate, fitness, and why not that spiritual side.
Absolutely. And you and your wife are very spiritual, which I love about you guys. We're on Dave Ramsey's endorsed local provider list, so we have a lot of the same common cores, beliefs, and values. But the interesting part, like what makes you guys different, and I gathered this from the conversation. So anybody can go to a personal trainer or, one of the many corporate gyms that are out there, and you guys are you're not that. And so let's talk about where you start when someone comes in that's totally different than going some other place.
Right. So this is where we're really different. The majority of people, when they first walk into a gym, they have a very, vain outcome. They want a six-pack, they want to lose weight, they want the arms.
In 2 weeks, right?
In 2 weeks. But we see the bigger picture, and so when they first come in, we like to think of most people think of it as a dichotomy, right? They're going there to strengthen their body, maybe their mind, if they get to that extent. Most people don't even think that there's that correlation between the mind and the body. So when they first come in, they want to get fit, they want to look good. We understand that it's deeper than that. All right, so we look more at a trichotomy, which is the mind, body, and spirit, and that is for most people. Most people don't understand. Well, how do you get the spirit part in there?
It's kind of like that life wheel balance. If you have one little piece that's off,
correct.
It throws everything out of alignment.
Correct. And so, we start off like every other gym. We do a full assessment. We do a customized nutrition plan. I went to the Integrative School of Nutrition in New York. And so we basically, we sit with them, we map out their goals, what they want to do, weigh them in, take their body fat percentages. And then, we do a functional assessment. They get on the floor. We never talk about that psychology piece. We never talk about, in the beginning, we never talk about that psychology piece or that spiritual side. Because what we believe is that when people stay consistent on the program, then what happens is they basically, as they get more fit, they're eating better, they're working out, they have this mental clarity that they didn't have before, which allows them to see the bigger picture, which is, when you're really fit, when you feel great, you have better relationships, your self-confidence goes up, and all these other aspects that when they first came in, they weren't even thinking about. And so, like the saying goes, it says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so at that point in time, when we see that the person has that mental clarity, we see that they're progressing physically, then all of a sudden something really magical happens, and it's when we have, as coaches, that opportunity to really talk to them about those three sides, that trichotomy, which is your mind, your body, and your spirit. And you would be incredibly, it's an incredible moment when that happens, because we don't even solicit that. It just, the client talks to you about it automatically, whether it's they have a void in their life or they have some dependencies that they're dealing with.
So you don't start from that place, but I think the law of attraction would bring that type of client to you because they're a good match.
Yeah, we're very stealth, right? Because when you tell people that you're going to fix those 3 areas, they're going to look at you and go, "Whoa."
You're not going to fix one of them, right? They're going to automatically have resistance on one of them.
How are you going to do that? And so, we believe that there's such a correlation between fitness and spirituality. The Bible makes many references to exercise, and there is no coincidence with that. We believe that there comes a specific moment where that person is operating at healthier levels, that they have that mental clarity to achieve that spiritual side. If you notice, most professional athletes always make reference to God. Mm-hmm. There's no coincidence. Those guys are tuned into their bodies, and because of that, they can see the bigger picture.
At what point do you see people that come into your gym that are training, they're making progress? At what point do you see them really have that breakthrough? Is there something that happens with you guys, or they're just connecting with other people there?
Most people that come in, I've been doing this now for 15 years, and so we kind of have a feel for who's going to be successful with the program. Interestingly enough, we have a saying at the gym that how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And so most of the people that come in and that are already successful in other areas of their life seem to be successful with what we do. But it really comes from being sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you get these people that have tried everything and they're just basically putting all their faith in your program, you know that they're ready to change. And so when even before they walk through that door, that change is already happening. They're ready. They're ready to step into that new body, that new mentality, that spirit-filled life.
So, and you guys, I love how you have, we talked about something, I'm going to let you share it, not me, when we come back, because we have to take a quick break. But we're going to talk about how, your group fitness is a little bit different, how your one-to-one thing works. And then, we'll touch on price a little bit. You guys have a whole array of different plans for people and kind of meet them where they're at. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back in just a minute to continue our fitness conversation of the day. Back in a minute.
Hi, this is Melissa Rogers, owner of SEC Inspection Services. We're so glad that you're listening today, that we're offering you a special deal. If you're purchasing a home, you can have $50 off your full home inspection. And if you're already a client of ours, we're offering 10% off of any other service that we offer. Just give us a call at 727-786-4663 or visit us on the web at SECinspection.com.
You're buying a house. Congratulations. So while you're worrying about the paperwork, leave the moving part to us. We're Woody & Sons Moving Company, a Florida licensed and insured mover, and we offer same-day written estimates. Plus, no sneaky mileage, stairs, or additional stop fees. All we ask is that you check out our great ratings on Google and Angie's List, then go to WoodyandSons.com to learn more. Whether you need a full service pack and move or some extra hands, at Woody & Sons Moving Company, we move you.
You've heard this before. Interest rates are at all-time record lows. But if your interest rate is 4% or above, you owe it to yourself to call Silverton Mortgage Specialist. Silverton is a direct lender, and the best part about this is that the entire loan process is handled in-house. From application to close, we do it all in the same building, which means that our loans close fast and our clients know what's going on every step of the way. Our contact info is located on TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show. What makes Silverton different? Products. We offer VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loans pricing. Best rates with the lowest closing cost. Process everything in-house. It's handled right here and not outsourced to anyone that no one can reach. This way we can avoid surprises. Our people are simply the best, and we know you'll agree. What will closing Silverton Mortgage Specialist mean to you? A smooth process, real home loan value, and personal attention from real professionals. Silverton Mortgage Specialists are here to serve you. Visit TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show for all of our contact details. NMLS 109600 is an equal housing lender and Florida and Georgia residential mortgage licensee.
Aaron Davis here, owner of Hillsboro Title, serving all of Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. In studio today, we have JT Tapias with Fit Method 413. We also have our other special guest with Glory. You can correct me, please, Tina, because I think I got that wrong in the first segment. Go ahead.
Well, you didn't have it wrong. I don't want to say you had it wrong, but Glory Med Clinic is actually our medical side because we do have a medical profession as well. But our Glory Wellness Center and Weight Loss Clinic is our weight loss and cosmetic side. So we're a twofer.
Fantastic. And I can't wait to share all about that. We're going to talk about it in the last half of the show. So welcome, everyone, again. Welcome back to Tampa Home Talk. If you missed the first part or any part of our show today, you can catch it in its entirety at tampahometalk.com. We're also available via a podcast, and you can find us across the web on Facebook and Twitter at Tampa Home Talk. So we left off talking to JT about what makes you guys a little bit different, how we were talking about like-minded people, just like attracts like. A lot of the universe opens the same people align, that type of stuff. But you guys have some really cool things that you're doing over there with regards to accountability and group fitness.
Right. So we basically went out into the marketplace and we saw what was happening with the CrossFit gyms and the Orange Theories and what we noticed with the majority of these places, they had 15 to 20 people per class and one coach. And so based on my experience, I said, it seems like an awful lot of people for one coach. So we generally have two coaches on the floor, and we keep our groups 5 to 8 people, and we call it group personal training. You still get that personal experience, but you're in a group of 5 to 8 people, which creates accountability. All those people eventually become friends, and when someone doesn't show up, they're calling each other.
They're calling, texting, saying, "Where are you?"
So it took a big, big responsibility from our plate because we used to do all the calling, and we still do. But usually they call each other in the same group, and they're there to help each other. We recently had some ladies that I posted a challenge on Facebook. I said, if you do HIIT, something we call HIIT cardio, high intensity interval training on Bayshore 3 times a week, we're going to give you a Polar Watch. Well, these ladies start work really early at 7 o'clock. So the only way they can make it to the HIIT cardio is if they were there at 5 a.m. Well, we already meet with a group at 6 that I facilitate. So every morning when I get there for my 6 a.m., these ladies are coming back from a 5 a.m. 45-minute walk. And that was and one of the ladies basically invited 3 other ladies, and so they keep each other accountable. So it's awesome. It's a great way to really everyone just kind of strive forward in the same direction and help each other out.
And it's neat because a lot of times when you think, the buddy system does work until one of the buddies just gets lazy or doesn't want to come, right?
Right.
So if you get the right group of people to really help each other and pull each other up, it can be good. But I think having that same core alignment mentally, if you start there, it's going to be a lot different.
Sure.
And you also said that when you guys do your group fitness, you have this like policy or philosophy or mindset that nobody gets left behind.
Right. So
talk about your HIIT, your high intensity interval training, what that looks like and what you mean.
Right. Okay. So we handle a couple of different theories when it comes to the cardio piece. We do slow burn cardio, which is basically a brisk walk, and it's dependent on your age. We take the number 220 and we come up with an equation, and we give you your exact numbers for your low range and your high range. Then we do...
which is interesting. So can you, after the show, we'll have to post, I don't know, if you're 30 or 40 years old, we'll post what that might look like.
Sure. And so with the high-intensity interval training, it's basically walking and running, walking, running, walking, running. Now, obviously, when you get a group of 5 to 8 people out there, some people are faster, some people are slower. We don't leave anyone behind. So what we do is the slow pokes, we ask them to go first. And then once they're done with their sprint, we catch up with them. Something really cool happens with these groups, and as one of my clients was saying, it's the social interaction that they really like, and that basically keeps them accountable. People are talking about all different kinds of things, their work, their kids, and it's a great time to go out there, exercise, and start your day off on the right foot.
I know for me personally, I mean, not only is it challenging because I have 3 kids, so I have like the certain time in the morning when I can go. And I already know just from years of trial and error and trying to figure this out, you know, carrying that post-baby 3-kid weight, that there's a certain time in the morning I have to go. And if I don't go that time of morning, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
And I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, and that's why we do it early. So we have a group that goes out there on Bayshore at 5 a.m., and then we have another group that meets at 6 a.m.
So we also talked, I know, before the show about because I wanted to talk about breakfast, right? Everybody says eat breakfast.
Yeah.
And then you were suggesting, hey, we're going to do this 5 or 6 a.m. workout, but let's do it on an empty stomach. And then how does that affect the body?
Sure. So basically what we say is, obviously, if you're going to go out there at 5 a.m., you're probably waking up at 4:30. So there's no way you can get a full breakfast in before going out there, because you know what will happen, right? Everything you ate the night before will end up
not where you want it.
splattered all over Bayshore. So, but you know, from a science perspective, basically, we believe that if you start your day off with a brisk walk, some cardio, 45 minutes, you create a deficiency for the rest of the day. So you think about if you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night and you're waking up at 4:30 to go do cardio. You've been fasting for a certain amount of hours before going out there. So when you get out there and you basically put your body in overdrive. And then what we suggest is once you get home, based on your nutrition plan, that you start eating, and then that you eat every 3 hours and not go more than 4 without eating. But we ask you to start off your cardio on an empty stomach so that you can create a deficiency for the rest of the day. It's the best way to do cardio is on an empty stomach.
So your body goes into overdrive and burns those calories?
Yeah, so basically it goes into, your first 25 minutes you're burning glycogen, and then after that you go into your fat deposits, and it can get a little more complex, but that's the simplest way to put it.
Any comment on that, Dr. Dave?
Yeah, he's very right.
He's right on?
Yes, I agree with him.
So I noticed you said 45 minutes. Is that kind of like the magic number?
Well, we believe you have 50 anabolic minutes, right? And within those 50 anabolic minutes, you basically get your workout in. Think of your first 25, you're burning glycogen, and then the others, you're burning fat. What we want you to do is we want you to get the maximum exposure and then go and eat. Bring nutrients into your body, nourish your body. You notice that when you go to a commercial gym, you see a lot of guys working out for an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's too long. It's too long. You're breaking your body down. And so you want to get that maximum exposure and then, boom, go nourish it.
And you hear people have all types of different like exercise routines, and people take breaks. So they'll do like arms one day, legs the next, that kind of stuff. Do you guys do a little bit of mix between muscle building and cardio, like at the same session,
yes.
or no?
So I'm glad you brought that up, because we're also very different in that aspect, where the majority of group training facilities do full body workouts. And the reason they do that is because it's really more convenient for them. What we do is we break up our groups. For example, we have several groups that come out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Monday we do chest, shoulders, tris, and core, which are all muscle groups that work in conjunction. They're all what we call pushing muscles, right? When you do your chest, shoulders, tris, and core. Then on Wednesdays we do legs and core, and then on Fridays we do back, biceps, and core, which are all your pulling exercises. And then on Saturday we do a full body workout. So
what does that look like?
Well, if it says anything, we call it body attack.
Okay.
And it's a fun workout. We basically do spare parts, and so it's an awesome class. The energy in the room is just outrageous. I mean, people we have different businesses around this, and they're always asking, what's going on in there? Because the music is pumping, and it's just really, really good energy.
People come out excited.
Yeah. So everyone sits around and talks afterwards. And so it's a very, very cool environment.
So, if you're listening to Tampa Home Talk and you're one of these people and it was your New Year's resolution, to attack this fitness, we are hoping that by doing this the early part of February, we're going to keep you on track. I know for me, I started my sort of pre-resolution back in the summer, going, with a trainer, trying to do a 5K on the weekends, just to get that extra fitness in there. And it's amazing how much your body ends up moving when you intentionally try to run, 3 miles or 3.1 technically.
Sure. So the accountability piece is huge. We see people ask me all the time, well, owning a gym, do you see a big, you get a bunch of people come in January, February, with a New Year resolution. And it's interesting because I think the people that get the gyms that get the most people for New Year's resolution are the Planet Fitness,
corporate type
all,
gyms.
all those corporate gyms. And I think I understand the psychology behind that. So from a money perspective, there's not a lot of commitment when you're paying $10 or $20 for something, or maybe even $50 for a membership.
Right, because the average person's going to spend that at dinner or more.
Right. So I hear that a lot of these gyms, what they have, they charge low memberships, and they probably have capacity for 2,000 people, but they sell 4,000 because they expect for people not to show up.
And the retention's low.
And the retention's really low. Whoever, basically people that come work with us, once you go through your consultation, if you sign up, you're really serious. You're ready to make a change, and we make sure that you have skin in the game. And it keeps people accountable.
So what are your fitness plans? They're all over the board, right? We talked a little bit about price, and obviously we're going to post your information on TampaHometalk.com and on Facebook and Twitter, and people can reach out to you. But that range is kind of like 144 to 650, depending on what they're looking for?
Correct. So 144 for, anywhere from 144 to 650, depending on whether you're doing group training or personal training. And then we offer group training, semi-privates, and privates.
What's the timeline that you see people start really showing results?
Our program, one of the cool things about our program is we've done absolutely no proactive marketing. Everything has been word of mouth, which, we've done really well. I mean, we've been at this particular location in South Tampa for 9 months. We're at 60% capacity. And so, I think that speaks for itself, and to answer your question, within 30 days, their clothes start to fit different. That's the first thing they notice. It's funny because sometimes the scale doesn't go down, but their clothes fit different. and so, and then within 60 days, people start to ask them, well, what are you doing? You look different. And then within 90 days, it's just a complete turnaround. I mean, if you see some of the before and after pictures we have, it's just absolutely incredible.
And we would love to post some of those at Tampa Home Talk, obviously with their permission, but just so people can get an idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, that'd be great. One of the things that we're huge on is sustainability, right? There's tons of programs on weight loss out there. We just realized we started seeing a lot of people coming to us from different places saying, well, I lost a bunch of weight, but it came back with a vengeance. So what we try and teach is...
came back. Just glued right back on.
I'm back. And so what we teach people is basically how to eat, how to incorporate this into their lifestyle, so it becomes a lifestyle, not just a diet. Because when people think of diet, the first thing they think about is the first 3 letters of the word diet, that they're going to die. and so
no potatoes.
and so we really teach them that sustainability, how to eat at restaurants. If they drink alcohol, what to drink, what not to drink.
Okay, so what do you drink?
So
what's the preferred alcohol if you're watching your diet?
So this is interesting because I don't drink alcohol at all. Yeah, I had to research all these things.
But I'm sure somebody listening is, and they want to know, right?
But we have something called a Crystal Teeny. And the Crystal Teeny is basically if you drink cocktails, vodka, soda, and then you take a soda water, and then you take a little bit of Crystal Light, and we call them Crystal Teenies. They taste good, very low in calories, or you can do it with water as well. You do vodka, water, Crystal Light, Crystal Teenies.
I think I've heard that before too about the vodka being lower. Yeah. So, okay, I'll just throw myself under the bus because I love to do that every show. It's the easiest way for people to relate, probably with me in the show. So if you're somebody like me and you just really I'll just admit it. I do not like to exercise. Get up at 5 a.m. and go for a run. No, I would totally rather be sleeping with my little Yorkie. But I do. I make myself get up. I go to the gym, take my daughter to school. My husband's the one that loves the fitness and to run and get sweaty, not me. Mm-hmm. But I'll go do, my 3 miles so I can get my exercise in. Mm-hmm. What's your advice for somebody like me, either just starting or getting to that place and sustaining that?
So if you listen to anything I say, some of the things I talk about, and I tell my clients all the time, if you stick to 80% water-based foods, you'll stay out of trouble when it comes to weight.
So some examples are?
If you stick to all your fibers, carbs with lean proteins, okay, versus all the heavy carbohydrates that take your body so long to digest.
So list stuff specifically, the good stuff, the bad stuff. Give me a list of 10 foods off the top of your head.
So vegetables, kale. I love kale. Kale packs the biggest punch. Spinach, green beans are some of my favorite. Lettuce, Lettuce, you can eat a football field of lettuce, and the caloric content is so low. You mix these with lean proteins. So there's a ton of companies out there, organic meats, and so if you basically stick, and I'm keeping it really easy and generalizing, right? But if you stick to vegetables and lean proteins, and you're eating every 3 hours and not going more than 4 without eating, that gap causes your body to retain fat. And if you basically do that consistently, you make sure you bring plenty of fluids, and you stay away from the carbs at night. Americans love to eat carbs at night. We love that pasta.
It's
we love
a bad
that rice.
culture habit.
we love that bread. One of the things we notice too is we're not only an overweight society, but we're a tired society. And this is where Monster drinks and Red Bulls and all these different drinks.
I know, as I drink my energy drink that I almost never have, right, Chris? You have to stand up for me. I bring my water in.
And
the one time,
I bring it in.
The funny thing with this is most people think that they're tired because they're working too much or they're not sleeping enough. What's happening is they're bringing in so many carbohydrates in, and they have this dependency for sugar. They have this dependency on carbohydrates. When you eat carbs, it takes your digestive system a really, really long time to digest. 70% of your energy goes to digestion. So then, of course, you're tired. So if you bring in more foods that are water-based, then you won't be as tired.
There was a guy that came in and did, I forget what it was now, it was a while back at the Board of Realtors, but he said something that'll always stick with me. I'll never forget it. He said, watch out for your white devils. And everybody's looking at him like, white devils? What's the white devils? He's like, your sugar, your flour. There was some other stuff too, but he was...
Bread, all the white pastas.
The bread.
Yeah, the white rice, that type of stuff, right?
All the simple carbohydrates, yeah.
So it was just, it'll never escape my mind. It will always be there. The white devils. Yeah. So we got to take a real quick break here on Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back in just a minute. And when we come back, we're going to give you the other side of the spectrum. So we're going to talk a little bit more with Dr. Dave and with Tina. We're going to let them share with their business and what they do that's a little bit different. A lot of people hear about the Medi weight loss and all those different things that are in and around. We're going to break it down, give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll be back in a minute.
You've heard this before. Interest rates are at all-time record lows. But if your interest rate is 4% or above, you owe it to yourself to call Silverton Mortgage Specialist. Silverton is a direct lender, and the best part about this is that the entire loan process is handled in-house. From application to close, we do it all in the same building, which means that our loans close fast and our clients know what's going on every step of the way. Our contact info is located on TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show. What makes Silverton different? Products. We offer VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loans pricing. Best rates with the lowest closing cost. Process everything in-house. It's handled right here and not outsourced to anyone that no one can reach. This way we can avoid surprises. Our people are simply the best, and we know you'll agree. What will closing Silverton Mortgage Specialist mean to you? A smooth process, real home loan value, and personal attention from real professionals. Silverton Mortgage Specialists are here to serve you. Visit TampaHometalk.com under Radio Show for all of our contact details. NMLS 109600 is an equal housing lender and Florida and Georgia residential mortgage licensee.
Hi, this is Aaron Davis, owner of Hillsborough Title. Hillsborough Title is a local family-owned title agency here in Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. We've served Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Call us at 813-712-8888 or visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
You're buying a house. Congratulations. So while you're worrying about the paperwork, leave the moving part to us. We're Woody & Sons Moving Company, a Florida licensed and insured mover, and we offer same-day written estimates. Plus, no sneaky mileage, stairs, or additional stop fees. All we ask is that you check out our great ratings on Google and Angie's List, then go to woodyandsons.com to learn more. Whether you need a full service pack and move or some extra hands, at Woody & Sons Moving Company, we move you.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to Tampa Home Talk. Thank you so much for rejoining our show today. You can find us here every week, same time, same place, same station. And we're delighted to bring our special guest this week to continue with this fitness conversation, because we're hoping that we're going to continue with those New Year's resolution goals and keep them on track. If you missed the earlier part of our show with JT with Fit Method 413, you definitely want to check it out. So our shows will be available via a podcast, and we're on Facebook, Twitter, and across the web. Just look for Tampa Home Talk. So Glory Wellness Centers, because she had to correct me. I had it a little bit wrong there. So we're going to talk about what you guys do and how it's a little bit different, because you do the Medi weight loss side of it, correct?
Well, it's not actually the Medi.
Okay, so correct me. Tell me what it is.
Well, we have a variety of different weight loss programs, and what we do more so that's different from other weight loss centers is we customize our plans to fit that patient, because everyone's desire is different. Everyone's goal is different. So I do all the consultations when patients come in to do weight loss, because I want to make sure mentally, much like JT had, specified early on in the program, it's really about a mental thing and how committed are you reaching that goal, because we take pride in what we do. So if you reach that goal and we're able to help you reach that goal, we've succeeded in what we're here to do.
So who are some of your clients? Like, for example, give me an example what one of your average clients looks like. Who is that person? Well, is it a mom or somebody that had a new baby? Like, who are these people?
We have a variety of different clients. We have executives. We have moms I don't want to say sit at home, because that's not what technically.
Their full-time job is the kiddos.
Yeah, there you go. But all right, yeah, they're at home and they kind of want to, get back to where they used to be prior to the baby. So it's a variety of different patients that we actually, service. So it really varies. It really does.
I mean, but talk about some of the things you guys do, because it's medicine, it's injections, and I mean, break it down.
We have the injectable version of the weight loss. We have the tablet. We actually have sublingual, which is underneath the tongue. So again, those are some of the things that we can do. But again, it's what you're comfortable with. We have patients that don't desire to be shot in the tush.
Okay.
I mean, they rather pop a pill.
And so what and you're giving what? Vitamins, appetite suppressants? Right.
We do B6, B12 injections, and we do an appetite suppressant. We give you vitamin and picrone that actually for your sugar craving, because like you said earlier, on break, the white devils,
right.
The bread, not the lettuce and the kale, JT.
See, for me, it's not the sugar, because I could pass on any candy, but the potatoes, you could double me up.
I think we have to eat the skin, so.
So how does that change your body, Dr. Dave, like with some of the stuff that Tina's talking about? What are the changes that are happening inside?
Yes, what actually happens is sometimes people try to lose weight on their own, then they plateau out. When they come to us, those injections that we give, the cocktail, it also has what they call MIC, M-I-C. Those are 3 amino acids. Those help the liver in the metabolism way it works. So it makes it easier for you to lose weight.
So it's giving your metabolism a jump start?
Kind of, on a slow way. Because the appetite suppressant does it more aggressively, that being a stimulant. Of course, like the name says, it also suppresses your appetite.
And so are there any side effects for some of these for people?
Yes.
Some?
Yes.
Any common ones?
For the appetite suppressant, like I said earlier, it's a stimulant. So if you take it late, you're going to be up all night. And also, if your heart condition is not in good state, or you have like irregular heartbeat, you may end up having an attack of irregular heartbeat or palpitation. So those are kind of some of the side effects. Constipation, like JT said, you have to increase your fiber intake. So it is very important. Your lettuce, any kind of fiber you can take, that will reduce your chances of getting constipation.
How much fiber is one supposed to get in a day?
Well, as much as you can. You know what they say, if a young lady doesn't want to have acne when she grows up, she needs to eat a lot of fiber.
Eat plenty of fiber.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm really 12 with acne.
12. Oh my goodness. So are there any long-term effects that you're aware of when people do like the MIC injections and the B12 and what was the other one?
Oh, the sublingual, which
HCG.
Okay.
Yeah, HCG.
That's the pregnancy hormone you were talking about on break? Okay.
Yes, you're right about that.
I'm just making sure I have it right because I'm not a doctor.
HCG is the hormone that people test for, a lady tests for to find out whether they're pregnant or not if they miss their period. So in a small, minute amount, that is also given to people in form of injection or in form of liquid underneath the tongue. And what that does is it works on the hypothalamus, the brain, to kind of, give the body what we call like a hourglass or, nice contouring because
like you, Katrina. We want to look like you.
Because the brain knows where the abnormal fat should not be. So that is how HCG works, differently from the appetite suppressant.
So that would be those problem areas for women, right?
Especially the hips area is very good.
Hey, watch it now.
And with that, it comes with a very low calorie diet. It's 500 calorie, mainly protein, 0 fat, and with that kind of diet, we do not recommend any aggressive exercise. Actually, the original program says no exercise, but because I want my patient not just to lose weight but to be healthy, I like to introduce them to cardiovascular exercise very slowly, and that way too they can be in good health and understand that when they get to their goal, they'll be able to keep it off.
They got to sustain by changing your eating habits.
Yes.
Is that one of the things that you guys, is that a place where you start, I imagine, for a lot of people, like changing those breakfast habits, changing those eating habits?
And yes, and a lot of them, us, once we get locked in as, not eating in the morning or eating late at night or staying up and drinking crystal teenies, but the other, it's sister and brother.
See, for me, I'm not, I've never been a late night eater. Never.
Yeah, see,
I'm not a sweet eater, but breakfast, forget it. I want coffee. That's it.
Yeah, see, that's me. And those are the habits that we kind of have to break out of and get away from. But sometimes we have to break it down slowly and do it gradually. Because if we suddenly do something, it's not going to stick. I mean, that's just in reality. Everybody wants a quick fix, but it's not going to happen.
So gradually would be what, a protein shake in the morning?
Yeah, something like that.
Adding some protein to your coffee?
Yeah, that might even work. I might try that.
You laugh, but I did it. That's why I'm throwing myself under the bus again. That's what I like to do.
You're going to run out of buses.
I'd like to chime in a little bit with the weight loss situation. What sometimes we don't realize is that these people that come in that are, 35, 45, they've been eating a certain way for X amount of years. And those changes happen gradually. And so if you throw a bunch of crazy things at them, if you ask them to work out, you ask them to drop their calories, it's never going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so if you understand that from a psychological standpoint, and you slowly but surely start incorporating healthier things into their diet, they'll see small changes, and those small changes will propel them to want to do more.
So you say pick the stuff you like and then introduce the other stuff to your diet. Is that, am I spot on?
Sure. I mean, something as small as I have people that are so overweight that they can't exercise immediately. So you have to, go after the nutrition side first, get them to walk, or something less aggressive than actually having them squat or lunge or do anything of that sort. So I think you guys also get a lot of people that they're so challenged with their weight that they can't even exercise.
Oh yes, definitely.
Well, I told you I started with that trainer last year, and I have to laugh. I'll use myself as an example because it's funny looking back. But I was so out of shape, getting in my crazy groove of putting everybody else first, that when we started working on my legs, I couldn't even sit down and go to the bathroom. My legs hurt so bad. I mean, it was that bad.
Right. And to go along with what JT was stating is a lot of times when you're introduced in different nutrition aspects, if you educate the patient and let them have an understanding of the pros and the cons of bread or water or what have you, just to keep it simple, once they understand and you implement that education, then a light goes off and they become more determined, because when you have lack of understanding, you you just all over the place. But once you have that clarity and you know the direction you're looking to go in, I mean, it's like it's gravy from there. Not literally, but I mean, it's great from there.
I was going to ask about the water intake. So, I imagine part of that is also increasing people's water intake because people don't drink enough water. So how does that change someone's weight?
Yes, water is very important for the metabolism and breakdown of fat. It is very important someone drinks a lot of water, average of, let's say, 1 liter a day or like 4 ounces of water. And weight loss generally is not just about diet alone. Mm-hmm. It's about behavioral changes. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to drop a lot of bad things that you've been doing, which is been making you not to lose the weight. You have to incorporate exercise. Then we have to now talk also about the diet. And then it's not. Sometimes people have done all those, they still can't lose weight. That's where the medical part comes in. It could be their thyroid. It could be the hormones. There are a lot of things that are, responsible. That's why during the consultation, we go over all these things.
So your people that you say making changes, the lasting ones that stick around for a while, are you seeing that these are like cold turkey kind of mindset change, jump in? Those are the most effective, or the ones that are kind of gradual over time? Which one sticks around longer?
The ones that are very much determined to change their lifestyle. Because, once you make that determination and you're for real, the results, you're happy with the results. It's just pleasing. So those are the ones that, when we do our consultations, those are the ones that really stick around, because that's our way of kind of looking eye to eye and reading into the soul and seeing, okay, is this really what this person want, or are they trying to hit and, get what they need to get and then be out? That's reality. So you have your pros and cons with that, but we're able to determine which ones in the consultation are going to stick around and are absolutely for sure that they want to change their lifestyle, because we do have a heavy society and a lot of us, we're not readers. So education is primary, and that's our job, to educate.
So how do you handle that if you're looking at someone and you really believe this is not lasting, like I don't see it in their eyes, it's not going to stick? How do you guys deal with that as a wellness center?
We're honest, because we don't ever want to be in a situation where, well, you didn't tell me or you didn't say. We're very respectful and honorable, but we also have to stand by for what we stand for. So if we can't be honest with you and you take that as critical honesty and take that as a way of maybe pushing you forward or pushing you away, that's your choice. But we did our job.
One of the things I say, and we have this during the consultation, you may even remember at JT, we say when your values are clear, your decisions are easy. And when we know what your values are, it's real easy for us to craft a plan to get you in the right place, in the right direction.
Absolutely. So you constantly hear, and I'm sure everyone is tired of hearing, that find your why, find your why. So all goals are composed of different things, but the why is ultimately the golden nugget. If you find why you're doing something, it's easier to accomplish it. So earlier you were asking about change, and for those of you that have experienced any kind of change in your life, whether it's you stop smoking or stop drinking or you follow a diet plan, change happens immediately. It doesn't happen gradually. It's when one day you wake up, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I am tired of this. I don't want to live like this. Or you look at your kids and you go, I got to be alive for these kids because I want to walk my daughter down that aisle. I want to see my son graduate, and it's those.
Or maybe you just want to be a better role model. It could be a lot of things for a lot of different people.
Right, and and it's those whys that really, really fuel people and get them to accomplish their goals. But they have to get to that why, and you can help them, but they have to be ready.
Get your why and then start with the end in mind. Right. When you start with the end in mind, it's easy from there.
And also, we have to realize that success is not a destination, it's a journey. So it's not something once you've arrived and it's all right, my job is over. No, I'm 45 years old, I have 4 children, and I have 4 grandbabies. I work at this every day. I don't say I reached this point and say, okay, I made it, my job is done, finito. It doesn't work that way. Success is not a destination. It's a journey, and you have to embrace your journey. Just take your journey and just know that, okay, if this is the lifestyle that I want, and I want to be where I was prior to 4 children ago, okay, I have to first get that in my head. I have to visualize that, see it, and then therefore I can achieve it.
And so I know, because we're getting close to the top of the hour, and one of the things you touched on when we talked before the show was the vampire procedure. So I just want to touch on that, because I have no idea what it is, and I want you to break it down and talk about it, because I'm like so intrigued by it, and I'm sure other people have heard it, seen it, they want to know more about it. So can you explain it?
This is the juicy goosey stuff. Well, the vampire procedure, again, has been around for over 10 years, and our physicians have gone to the conferences and got educated on the procedures, and now we're implemented in our locations. And we have 3 locations. We have one in Tampa, Newport Richey, and Lakeland. So what the vampire procedures consist of, we can do facelift, breast lift, facials, facelifts, and neck lifts. And we basically extract the blood from the patient, and we put it in a machine, and it's called a centrifuge. And what the centrifuge does, it actually separates the platelets and give us this thing we call liquid gold. And we all love gold, don't we? So once we achieve this gold, we inject it. Let's say if the patient wants a breast lift, we inject it in those areas, and it actually lifts the breasts. If you want it on your neck, we can inject that liquid gold into your neck, and it lifts your neck. So there's a variety of different things that this procedure can do.
So let me make sure I'm getting this straight. So you're taking the blood out of someone's body.
Correct.
And then you're putting it back into their body after you've taken the toxins out. Am I getting that right?
Okay.
Doctor.
No toxins involved there. I'm very sure everyone has gone to see a doctor once in their lifetime to give blood for annual physical. It's the same way. We draw the blood. In the presence of the patient, the blood is being spun with a centrifuge. That will separate the blood into 2 sections, the red part and the yellow part, which is being referred to as the liquid gold. That yellow part is called plasma. That plasma area is very rich in platelet, because we kind of concentrate it into the yellow part. That's why they call it PRP, platelet-rich plasma. Now, the plasma that has the platelet is being injected into anywhere in the body. Maybe for somebody having a hair thinning, or somebody wants to look younger, to stimulate the collagen of the face, or to stimulate the breast tissue to grow. Those platelets release growth factor. The growth factor now attracts stem cells, and those stem cells are what can differentiate into any tissue in the body.
So during this process, nothing is being added. It's just stuff being subtracted from your own blood that's being put back in?
Yes, right in the presence of the patient. The patient is awake, looking at everything being done. It's your blood being drawn, you are looking at it, the machine spins it, and then the yellow part is injected back into any part of your body that you need it.
And how long has this technology been around?
It's been used for about 10 years or more by the dentists and orthopedics.
And did it start here in the U.S. or somewhere else?
Oh, right there in U.S. In Europe, too, they use it.
So interesting, because I had never heard of that until you mentioned it the other day.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian made this more of a local, put in the local stream, so to speak, because she had the facial, if I'm correct.
Vampire facial.
She had the vampire facial, which is basically when they seen it on YouTube with all the blood on her face and everything. So that was the facial. So now it's, locally and in the mainstream, everyone's having this awareness of, oh, okay, the vampire.
And real quick, any downside to this?
The only downside is you have to wait an hour and a half before you can go out to happy hour.
Oh my gosh!
Your Crystal Teenies, huh?
So we're gonna post all this stuff on TampaHomeTalk.com. We're having so much fun today. We could stay in here for another hour and talk, but we gotta go because there's another live show next. Don't forget to catch us this Saturday. We have Jim Holloway. He's gonna talk about post and pre-occupancy by buyers and sellers. So what happens if you move in or you move out? Seller stays, buyer moves in before that contract actually closes. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Tampa Home Talk. You can find us here next week, same time, same place. And we love to have you back. If it's your first time, welcome. For this week, we are out.